And they and the king and the small circle around the king begin to rule the people. That pattern of governance continued throughout all the territory they conquered. It's always the desire of the elite to keep power to themselves. It's the same everywhere in the world. And for countries that have made it, that have developed, something happened at some point to change the trajectory of that country. That is exactly the same problem we've had in Nigeria. When the people who are in power, when your mother was breastfeeding you, are still in power when you are close to retirement, then something is wrong. So, what I want to do today is two things, or three things. I want to talk about the problem, the symptoms. I want to talk about the diagnosis. Then I want to talk about the prescriptions, or the solution to some of our problems. What we practice in Nigeria currently is not democracy. What we practice is what I call Gerontocracy. Geronto-cracy. Google it. It says gerontocracy is a state of society or a group governed by old people. That's what we've got in Nigeria. I didn't make up the word. It actually exists in the dictionary. So the desire for old people to rule did not start from Nigeria. Otherwise, it won't be in the dictionary. Two professors, they did a 15-year research. In that 15-year research, they examined every country on the face of the earth, in every continent. They were trying to look for why countries fail and why countries succeed. And the normal thing people normally will attribute success to, they found that that wasn't the problem. Geography was not an issue. There are countries in the same geographical area that are succeeding and failing. Natural resources was not the problem. There are countries with natural resources that are failing. There are countries with no natural resources that are succeeding. So all the normal metrics of why countries fail or succeed, they didn't find it. So when I look at their research in reference to Nigeria, there are certain key points I want us to take home to start our analysis of what the problem is. So I found that as it relates to Nigeria, there are 7 reasons why we are where we are. And that relates to 7 reasons why nations fail. Number 1, lack of effective and strong institutions of state. Lack of effective and strong institution of state. The problem is politicians come, politicians go. And every politician will always have tendency for excesses. What curtails them is strong institutions of state. But when you have a country where the institutions are not strong, the excesses of the leaders are easily given expression to. For example, let's take our security in this country. It's one of the areas I know where I train police forces around the world. You know, we complain that our police are easily politically influenced, right? How many of you will understand that the current setup of Nigerian police, they are not set up to succeed. They are set up to fail. Section 215 of the Constitution says that the Inspector General of Police must obey every lawful order of the President. That makes sense, doesn't it? But Section 215 subsection 5 now says, in relation to the lawfulness of the order given to the Inspector General of Police, no court in the land can examine it. So which means if the president gives you an instruction as IG, whether it's lawful or not, you have to obey it. Because the Constitution says you can't appeal anywhere else. It's order. I remember a retired Inspector General of Police was telling me that, he said, Doctor, if president gives you an order and you don't like it, he said, your only appeal is God. That is why, as of last year, we've had 10 Inspector General of Police in 10 years. Because once you are doing once you are not obeying them, they boot you out. There's no security or tenure. That is why the current Inspector General of Police is more loyal to the president than to the country. He knows his butter is going to be. I've never seen. I don't want to get personal here, but the issue here is, you know the kind of leader you are by the kind of people you surround yourself with. And left for me, the security problem we have in Nigeria can be changed in 6 months. The solution is very simple. But you know what? They also know the solution. I was speaking to somebody who was part of the American team that came a few years back when we had Boko Haram problem very badly. And the Americans carried their bag and left very quickly. And I said, what was the problem? He said they found out that the entire security infrastructure in Nigeria is compromised. The very people you are trying to defeat have their sympathizers everywhere. So the left hand doesn't talk to the right hand. The SSS, we have an information, they won't pass it to the police. Even police don't pass information to themselves. It's true. So I'm just using that as an example of what I call weak institution, is my point. That if the institution of state is weak, it doesn't matter who you are, you'll be corrupted. In fact, go and talk to some of the people who are newly elected into political office. It is the people in the institution, the permanent secretaries and people who are there, that are the ones that will come and show you how to steal. Because you don't know how things are done. They are the ones that will show you. The president signed a budget in his office. By the time the budget got to the Senate, the figures have changed. Who changed it? The institutions. So it's important, while we focus on who the president is, who the vice president is, we need to be careful how we